We all know that fishing steep banks is good in the wintertime, but what is something we ought to do fishing those steep banks that's going to add a few more fish to our catch? Good morning, guys and girls. February 2 and the weather is getting ready to turn February-like real quickly. I promise you, it's fixing to happen in a hurry today, as a matter of fact. We're looking at John 16:22. By the way, all of you are having a birthday in February. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I will see you again, and your heart will rejoice. That's red letters. That's Jesus Christ talking. I will see you again, and your heart will rejoice, and your joy no one will be able to take away from you. No one will be able to take away from you. Chris and I love it when our kids and our grandkids come to Twin Eagle Ranch. When they drive up, we are so eager to see them that we rush out. We meet them in the circle drive. We start hugging them, and we're just so tickled and glad they're there. During the coronavirus, many older folks stayed away from their family for long periods of time due to health concerns. Now, you know, I worked on this book for about a year and a half, and honestly, I thought by the time that we had the book, the coronavirus would be way in our rearview mirror, but it's not. It's still here today. And actually, there are many people that still haven't seen their family. But those that have, imagine that immense joy when they could finally see them again. I actually know people that hadn't seen their kids and grandkids since this thing started. And it seems like that we're setting records every day with more coronavirus cases every day. It seems like everything we've done so far really hadn't helped much. I know the vaccination's keeping people from getting quite so sick. And I've been vaccinated and boosted, and yet I still caught the coronavirus. But you know, Sherry hasn't got it. Chris hasn't got it. Chris has got O-negative blood, probably is what's helped her, as I understand. In today's verse, Jesus was talking to his closest disciples right before he was betrayed by Judas. This is right before Judas betrayed him, which is Judas, of course, is one of his disciples. Jesus was arrested. He was beaten. He was humiliated beyond imagination. And then they killed him on the cross. But right before all that happened, Jesus encouraged them and assured them that their sorrow would turn into joy. Right before all of this was about to happen, and Jesus told them it was about to happen. He told them exactly what was going to happen to him, and that he would be killed and hung on a cross. And yet he told them, I'll see you again, and your heart will rejoice in your joy. No one's going to be able to take away from you. He encouraged them. He assured them that their sorrow will turn into joy. And can I tell you, it did. After Jesus walked out of that grave, he walked out of that grave and he started talking to them, meeting with them. He walked through a closed door and said, it's me. And they thought they were seeing a ghost, but it wasn't. It was alive, Jesus Christ. Whatever your situation in life is today, Jesus can give you a joy that is permanent. A joy that is permanent. Every one of us has suffered a loss of someone we love. My family that I grew up with when I was a little boy, my mom, my dad, my younger sister, are all gone on to heaven. I've got aunts and uncles that I loved, grandma, granddad, people that were everything to me as I was growing up and through a lot of the years of my life. They're all gone. But this verse right here, my joy will come back with them, and it's a joy that no one can take away from me, because one glorious day in heaven, I'll see them all again. Just like these disciples saw Jesus Christ. They touched him. He let them feel the scars in his hands because they couldn't believe it. Well, I believe it. And you can ask in his name today for that joy that Jesus is talking about. A joy that no one will be able to take away from you. Isn't that fantastic? Golly, I just get chill bumps thinking about it. Here's our tip for today. Fish a steep bank more thoroughly in cold water. Now, the reason you do that is in cold water, fish's strike zone has a tendency to get a little bit smaller. They have a tendency not to move quite as far after bait. And when you're fishing a bank that's really steep, which is a great place to fish in the wintertime, a great place to fish, your bait quickly gets away from that bank. If you throw it out and you let it drop down, it will have a tendency to, of course, go back toward your boat. As it does, it gets further and further away from the steep bank, and if the bass are laying right up against that bank, they're not going to swim out very far to get it. So you want to fish it more thoroughly, fish it more carefully. As a matter of fact, anything you're fishing in the wintertime, not necessarily just a steep bank, you want to fish more thoroughly and more carefully, because most of the fish, particularly if they're on cover, and most of the fish are going to still be on cover. Now, some of those giants are not. Some of those big giants, we've learned in the last 3 or 4 years, they're going to be suspended out in open water, and we can catch them. We can catch them. We see them. We can catch them. But those that are on cover, they're not going to move very far to fish your bait. So fishing those steep banks in the wintertime, fish it more thoroughly. As a matter of fact, fish everything more thoroughly in the wintertime. Guys and girls, it's the last day in a while. I'm going to be running around short sleeve shirts, but I am enjoying it until that storm gets here. The wind's picking up, and it's on the way. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.